Hi friends, good evening and welcome. Welcome to my talk on life appreciation. I hope that somehow I cheer you up and I cheer myself up too, to appreciate life in the midst of so much turmoil that most of us are going through. Sometimes it gets a little rough, sometimes it gets a little lighter, less rough. So life appreciation, I always try and find a topic that will help us appreciate life. As usual, I wish you good evening and I hope that you enjoy my show. I ask for your feedback. Don't hesitate to call me or to get in touch with me through my website or send me a note at my P.O. box. All of this information is at the end of the show. I would like to talk to you this time about the hologram. And as promised, I believe I promised you in the last show, I have some pictures to show you. There are two types of hologram at least. One physical and one mental. There are holograms everywhere. You can make a hologram of yourself. There are many ways that you can do holograms of yourself. But here is now, first of all, a normal photograph. My own photo, which is in my book, which is everywhere, on my website also. A normal picture of Odete. Now I am going to show you one of my credit cards. I have my finger here. I'm trying to hide the number. And there is a hologram in just about every credit card. It's in here. It's this little square box. This one happens to have, but I believe it's a dove. And when you move the card, it looks like the dove is flying. Alright? So we all carry holograms with us in our pockets. Usually, one way or the other. I have two more pictures to show you tonight. I don't think they're that good on the television, but I had planned to show you these holograms. So here they are. You can imagine what happens. The small one is a hologram of Jesus. The larger one is a hologram of Mary. You may guess that as you move them, it looks like they are moving. The colors are beautiful. They change also. So, from the point of view of physics and science and modern life, how do you take this picture, which are pictures of people that are no longer in existence here on earth in the body form, compared to this picture taken a few years ago. This, as I said, is the hologram, and is a normal picture taken by a normal photographer with a normal machine. This picture of Odete, or any other picture of yours, for instance, or any other of anybody else, if by any chance you want to reproduce, to make a reproduction of this picture, you have to have You have two ways to do it. You either have the negative, or you can try and take it from here. In either case, you need the whole picture to make another one. In the case of the hologram, if you want to reproduce this hologram, one tiny piece will do the whole thing again. If you cut this in pieces with the scissors, and you get one piece, it goes through a lasers, because what is in here are lasers, goes through a laser, and it reproduces the whole thing. That you have in short here the story of all of us. The history of all of us is contained in one very small piece. And thanks to modern science, they have been able to not only make pictures like this, holograms like this, but to also explain why. Now, I am not going to explain how, because of course I'm not that technical. The only thing I know is that these are taken with laser machines. But I am going to explain why it is so important to understand the hologram. I remember in Europe I saw a show, a fair, like a World's Fair some time ago, and they were selling holograms everywhere. Holograms of trains, and they looked like they were moving, boats, they were floating, navigating, airplanes. It was all, they were expensive, $1,000, those days, you know, $1,000 maybe, well, depending on the size of the hologram. That's okay. You take them home and you decorate your homes. Oh, you know, everything is a decoration these days. But I wish that, for instance, the families that, the people that bought those pictures, those holograms, and took them home and paid $1,000 would explain, especially to their children, what they were carrying and what the hologram really means for all of us, for mankind. You know, the Greeks, we owe a lot to the Greeks. The first Bibles were written in Greek. Very important time in history, in antiquity, in those days. The word hologram comes from the Greek language, and it means, holo means whole, gram means to write. Now, if you remember nothing at the end of my talk tonight, but this, hologram, holo means whole, gram means to write. The hologram is an instrument that writes the whole. As I said, if you remember nothing but these at the end of my show, you already saved perhaps millions of years in your learning process of understanding who you are. Now, this sentence is not mine. I must be honest. This sentence is here in my book, page 79, I believe, and this sentence comes from the American physicist David Bohm. I quote him here with permission. The sentence is, and I repeat, the hologram is an instrument that writes the whole. So obviously, there's more implications than just a picture in there. And David Bohm, the physicist, was referring to the fact that the whole history of mankind is written down in the hologram of the universe which we carry, which is contained within us. Now, many times when I talk about this, I say it's in our minds, in our hearts. It doesn't matter, it's within us. And in there is all there is, there was, and there will be. That is why then in physical form, as I said, a little piece from here contains the whole picture. Therefore, any part of the universe contains the whole knowledge, the whole of what there is. Because quantum physics also teaches, quantum physics is nothing but quantities of energy, also teaches that quantum energy cannot be divided. Therefore, if a part of my mind, if in my mind, in my heart, somewhere within me, is this hologram that contains all the information there is, it cannot be divided. It means that what I have, you have, John, Joe has, Jesus had, everybody has. Everybody has within themselves the writings of the whole of the universe. The problem is we prefer to do this, we prefer to see it as a show-off. Like I said, go to a show and buy a frame, buy a picture of the hologram, pay $1,000, and bring it home and hang it up on your wall without understanding, without even making an effort to tell your children what it is that you are. Okay. We are very lucky to be living now in the beginning of the 21st century. As I'm talking to you, I can't even believe I was about to say the beginning of the 20th century. This is the 21st century. We have all the potentials. Millions and millions of people never were so well off as they are now. Millions and millions, of course, are still very poor. And more people will be poor because there is more population. But it's not the poor that worry me, it's the others that are doing nothing or almost nothing with their lives, who hang up pictures in their wall without understanding what is there. And then, of course, when Sunday comes, they may go to church or to synagogue on Saturdays, whatever. Just keep up with the Jones. But it's not up to me or up to anybody to criticize. That's where these people are. That's where we all are.